I'll tell you some amazing things the leader of North Korea does to his people. Stick with me in this video and you'll see that living in North Korea is one of the worst things in the world. But why is that? I'm sure everything you'll see in this video will shock you. And before continuing, please like the video and subscribe to our channel to receive the best curiosities out there. Let's start with the lies and manipulations that North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, tells to control the country's population. The leader is a hero. That's the first lie. Kim Jong-un is portrayed as a leader who's loved by all North Koreans. Government propaganda paints him as a hero who's always working hard to improve the citizens' lives. However, the truth is quite different. Kim Jong-un is responsible for many serious human rights violations across the country. Check out this lie. Kim Jong-un claims that North Korea is a safe and crime-free country. But the regime is known for harshly punishing those who engage in illegal activities, including minor crimes like watching foreign films. You won't even believe this next lie. The government propaganda portrays North Korea as a paradise on earth, where everyone has access to free housing, food, healthcare, and education. Because the reality is very different for most North Koreans and they face daily poverty and deprivation. Alright, I know you're already getting scared, but we have to continue because there are many more absurd things to tell you. Now listen to what I'm going to tell you. The government of North Korea, as you can already see, is one of the most closed and authoritarian countries in the world. Since its founding in 1948, the country has been led by members of the Kim family. North Korea's political system operates under a single-party model. The supreme leader wields ultimate authority in the country, holding absolute control over all government and military entities. Remarkably, power has been inherited within the Kim family, and the current leader, Kim Jong-un, is recognized for exerting even greater control than his predecessors. North Korea's economy functions as a highly centralized, state-controlled entity. Absurd, right? North Korea bears the notorious reputation of committing human rights violations, which include forced labor camps, restrictions on free speech and movement, and the torture of political prisoners. The media is exclusively controlled by the state, and internet access is heavily restricted as well. Have a look at some examples here. Now we'll embark on another important segment in this video. You'll see how the citizens remain entirely unaware of what's transpiring in the outside world. And I'm asking you again, do you want to leave Brazil and go live in North Korea? Whoa there, don't answer me now. Watch the whole video first and then tell me if it's worth living in this country. North Korean residents have a very limited understanding of the outside world. The government tightly controls information flow into the country and censors all media, including foreign media and the internet. Most North Koreans only get access to information and news approved by the government. State-controlled media is the only source of information available to most North Koreans. Media often portrays the outside world in a negative and suspicious way, depicting it as a dangerous and hostile place. North Koreans are taught from a young age to believe that North Korea is paradise and the rest of the world is run by corrupt and oppressive governments. Most North Koreans are not allowed to travel abroad and therefore have little to no personal experience with other cultures and societies. North Korean schools teach a seriously twisted version of their country's and of the world's history, focusing on their fight against Japanese control and the importance of the Kim family in North Korea. Any info on human rights or freedoms is limited and usually distorted to fit the government's narrative. Got it? North Korean schools teach a highly distorted version of their country's and of the world's history. Are there rich people in North Korea? Of course. Kim Jong-un lives large. The country's top politicians and military leaders have access to things that regular folks don't. The ruling elite have access to high-quality food, luxury goods, and other amenities that are extremely rare for most North Koreans. But even the elite have a hard time maintaining their lifestyle, and many government officials and military personnel are suspected of corruption. Now that you've seen a bit of what North Korea is like, maybe you don't wish to live in this country, but at least you've got the desire to visit, to know what North Korea is like. Then pay attention, because I am going to tell you what it's like to be a tourist in the country. Being a tourist in North Korea is quite a unique and highly regulated experience by the North Korean government. It's impossible that you thought it would be different, isn't it? It's important to remember that the country has one of the most closed and authoritarian governments in the world, which means that tourists must follow strict rules and restrictions during their stay. Upon arrival in the capital of North Korea, you will be greeted by a government guide who will accompany you throughout your stay in the country. In other words, you will have a 24-hour guide to do everything that you are authorized to do by him. They will guide you about the rules and regulations that you must follow. You'll be taken to your hotel, one of the few options available for foreign tourists. Keep in mind that most North Korean hotels are government-run. On your city tours, you'll visit some major tourist spots, but you don't get to choose where to go. Everything is arranged by them, so you only see what they want, essentially just the country's positives. There might be opportunities to interact with some locals during your tour. In your interactions with the locals, it's essential to remember that your guide should oversee your conversations, and any criticism of the government may have serious consequences. How about making the most of your trip to North Korea? On your last day, you'll have a chance to do some shopping at a local store. Remember, your shopping options may be limited and you may not find Western products. It's important to note that throughout your stay, taking photos is strictly regulated and you won't be able to take any without your guide's permission. Any bad behavior can have serious consequences, even landing you in prison. In a nutshell, being a tourist in North Korea is a totally government-controlled experience. If you choose to visit North Korea, you need to be aware of these restrictions and respect the country's laws. Be careful, you might not even make it back. Thanks for sticking around till the end, and see you in the next video.